So, hi, Leland. Thank you so much for agreeing to be on the podcast. So, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit and what you do?
Yeah, hi, Megan. Great to be here. I'm Leeland Zhang, so I'm co-founder and CEO of Grassroot Academy. Grassroot is a AI learning platform. Pretty much, we allow anyone to learn anything for them to learn it more effectively, enjoy the process of learning, and hopefully achieve their goals. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Sounds good. So, my first question is, what drew you to AI and software in the first place?
Yeah, so I think to really build a startup right now, or like the entire point of a startup is to solve a central problem, right? And it's just more so AI is like one of the most powerful technologies right now. We're in a great age where there is a disruptive technology, and so there's a lot more problems you can solve now that don't have current solutions. That's really it.
Sounds good. So, what were some pivotal decisions or opportunities that really shaped your career when you got to making Grassroots Academy?
The question was pivotal decisions.
Yeah, pivotal decisions and opportunities that you seized.
Um, I don't think there really are any like really defining moments. I think that might differ depending on the founder, of course, but for me, it's really just been a lot and a lot of details stacked together. I wouldn't say there's one pivotal.
Yeah, that's fair. And looking at your LinkedIn, we see that you dropped out of college to pursue something called stealth startups, and then you went to Grassroots. So, do you want to kind of explain your journey there and what motivated you to take such a risky move?
Sure, stealth. Sorry, stealth startup is a term that founders use for those who don't know, just meaning that you don't want to make your
Yeah.
startup public yet. So, that was Grassroot at the time.
Oh,
Yeah, it wasn't how it was now. So the company, the product has changed, of course, over time, significantly so, especially since the early stages. But yeah, um, I dropped out really just because I couldn't see myself doing much else. Now, I also have the capability of doing so, and was able to like earn money through other means as well to support myself. So, yeah, I'm capable of doing so, but really, it's just like I wasn't I was in school, but I like really wasn't in school. Like I
yeah,
didn't do anything. I was like trying not to. I was doing the bare minimum possible, and I didn't feel like I needed the degree because I was like, this is exactly what I want to do.
yeah, that's fair. And what skills or experiences do you think were most valuable when taking that leap, and what really shaped your career?
Uh, skills most valuable. I don't think there is any defining skill that I would say is most valuable. I would say it's more the biggest factor, at least in terms of my perspective, and this is more biased potentially due to the field that I'm working in, etc. Is that it's really about a conviction and just the ability to sort of um, learn fast, and in many cases that is like failing fast, or I mean, people learn fast in different ways, but really I think conviction is also or like purpose is most important because um, doing a startup is hard. It's really
Yeah,
hard, and if you don't have some sort of deeper underlying reason for why you want to do this, you're just gonna not like stop doing go do like corporate work because there really isn't it's too hard to justify otherwise.
that's fair. Yeah. So, conviction is probably the most important soft skill that you had to use. And are there any hard skills that you've used, such as like what coding languages have you seen like emerging these days that are useful? And like in terms of like coding, how has vibe coding impacted your industry?
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I would say learning coding languages are no longer really useful, at least learning a particular language. In terms of hard skills, I guess most you learn on the job. I am a technical founder, of course, but I'm the CEO of our company, and I no longer do much coding in my day to day. I have a really smart CTO. It's way
Mhm.
like 1,000 times a better engineer than I am. So
Mhm.
yeah, so I mean I think the skills involved there is like a lot involved. I think during the early stages of startup, it's up to you guys to figure out everything, and then once you figure out everything and then you're able to know exactly like what to do moving forward, then you can like start to hire other people to like do things for you. But really when you're in the figuring out stage, you kind of just like have to learn and like do anything possibly required. So um I mean technical wise a bit, but I mean in terms of otherwise it's a lot of uh I mean if marketing and selling the business also, if you would see that as a skill that's oftentimes what people in my role do.
Yeah, that's fair. And what advice would you give to students wanting to enter your field today? So entrepreneurship, like startup culture.
If they want to, I mean it depends, I would say, on like what age and what stage you're at. I think if it's really just like a exploratory phase, you're just trying to like understand certain things about the culture, um I would just recommend YouTube and books at a certain point, because really this field is you have like only like the best of the best really give any valuable advice. um and then even beyond that, like once you know like more like the basics, a lot of it comes down to like your specific problem and your specific industry, so then you have to figure it out. Like that's a hard part, right? So there's no experts anymore, you have to figure it out yourself.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'd say like from Zero to One by Peter Thiel is a very popular book. You can also listen to certain podcasts. There's one called by like 20 VC. He interviews like public company CEOs like on like a weekly basis. It's a great podcast as well. Those are things that I personally advise. And then if you like to like meet more people, potentially like, find people also in your space, events are great for that. Like locally, but yeah, I would say as an initial starting point, that's good to go.
That's a great answer. And what projects, internships, or experiences do you look for when you evaluate new candidates for talent in your company?
Um, I think as all companies, it depends on the role you're hiring for and the fit. Uh,
So do you have any
I
someone who
sorry.
was like recent examples of like someone who had like a specific trait or experience that you were looking for like a specific position? Like for example, you mentioned like your CTO. So what like guided you to like decide that CTO was like the person that you needed in your company? Like what
Sure,
experience?
sure. Yeah, I mean that's a better question, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would say um in okay in terms of co-founders, also this is different, like a bit different between co-founders and hiring. um Between co-founders, it matters a lot that you guys are mostly aligned, actually, in terms of your goals, where you want to go, expectations, all of these things, because if you're not aligned, people are working towards different things, arguments will come up, and then you guys will break up, which is the worst scenario. So really, it's actually like a alignment of that. I think is one of the most important things, more than anything else. And also that you guys just enjoy being with each other is also like a very big component. And then the other part is that I mean, of course, otherwise, hard skills are lovely to have. So
Mhm.
if they're like you think that they're best in class at like coding and engineering, or they're absolutely like the best like designer that you've ever met, etc. Those are obviously also very very good traits to have. Um, yeah, I would say those.
All right. That's a great answer. And finally, how has your work at Grassroots really shifted from the start to the finish? Like not the finish, but like your current state that you are in right now. So you mentioned that the company changed a lot throughout the course, as like from a stealth startup to making it public. So how has it changed from this conception of the idea to its current application?
Yeah. It changed a lot. I would say at the very beginning, we started off with the basis on, I mean, the base of the company never changed. The foundation of we want to improve learning, that has never changed. However, the format in which we thought would be the best was we thought we could follow and build something that emulates what a normal tutor or coach would do. Now, that didn't turn out to be the best uh, idea for a format of a product, because it turns out that a lot of the value of a tutor and a mentor is the fact that they're just a different human being, and so there is a lot of value in just that, and not actually like how much you learn. There has been lots of changes needed to be made in the product wise, as well as also who our end users are. Even for a various portion of time, we were deciding whether or not we want to sell to schools as well, or just sell B2B.
Yeah.
Who our end users are in terms of like, hey, are we going to target younger age students, like middle school, elementary school as well? Just things that we wanted to figure out ourselves in terms of like direction. And it's different now. So today, GraphSuit's a lot more defined. We have a product that people are using, many people are using and paying for, and yeah, now we are exclusively to consumers, so to anyone that can personally use and sign up and try. And it's for a generally a little bit of an older audience, so high school, college students, as well as any working career professional.
Sounds good. So a couple more questions left. First, are there any emerging tools that you think students should learn, which would help them in your field of like engineering and AI and like startups in general?
Tool as in just software tools, or
Tools. It could be like it could be learning how to use AI, or it could be like communication with like your like employees. Like, is there any like tool or like skills that they like need right now, which would help them succeed in like startup culture?
Oh, okay, I think I understand what you mean.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, like, I would obviously, I would first plug my own product as GraphSuit.
Yeah.
So please try it out, it's free. Anyway, but no, I think beyond GraphSuit, I think just tools in general. I'm getting that the idea of the question is more so just like tools, general skills. So
Yeah.
I would say, if you're technical and working on software, which is most startups right now, at least tech startups. So um, learning how to vibe code is, or just like coding with AI, is obviously it's a very helpful skill at this point. So whether like the specific tool, whether it's Claude Code or Codex, or some like open source, whatever, that doesn't matter. But the skill of using those tools is probably very helpful. In terms of skills in general, being able to sort of tell a story for founders also very important. Whether or not that is to investors if you're trying to raise, to clients, or potential people that you want to use your product. I mean, just like the ability to tell a story is very valuable. Yeah, I mean, I think any more than that, it would depend on exactly like what your startup is trying to do. It does vary. For example, like if you're building rockets and robots, your answer will be a lot different than if you're trying to build like a I don't know, like an AI dating app, right? So
Mhm.
it'll depend a lot on specifically what space you're trying to build in. Um, but yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So finally, do you have any thoughts for students tuning in? Like, so students as in like high school students and like college undergrads who are excited about entering startup culture. Any final thoughts or advice?
I think now is a really good time to build. There is always so the reason why you build a startup is that you're trying to solve a problem that's currently not solved well, and that you believe can be done better than any of the existing players. So like a big question to ask yourself is, yeah, exactly, like why would ChatGPT not just already be able to do this in the next like 6 months, right?
Mhm.
But what we'll find actually now, specifically for AI, is that now really is the time for what we call application layer companies. Is that these foundational model companies will also enter into specific areas, but their focus can only be so much. So there's going to be many problems where the frontier or the best of the value in which needs to be provided to any of the potential users is not at the frontier of the models or at the frontier of the technology itself right now. So I was just like anyone young, especially as long as you're not working in deep tech, which is a bit different, but as long as you're not working in deep tech, the application layer is a huge space, probably for at least the next couple of years to build in. And so I would strongly recommend anyone who is wanted to get into the space really to actually just start building, meet people who have like-minded thoughts as you, and really just go for it.
Sounds good. So thank you everyone for tuning in. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and make sure you check out Grassroots in your free time. It is free. And yeah, thank you. Have a good day. Not recording. All right.